Hello and welcome back to Cheer Up the podcast. I don't know why I do a timed step move there, like hello and welcome to Cheer Up. I'm the worst dancer ever, but welcome back to Cheer Up the podcast, episode 12. 12 episodes now, 12 episodes
12
deep.
Episodes.
Thank you so much for tuning in and following our journey on TikTok and Instagram. It's Cheer Up the podcast, and also you can watch our beautiful faces on YouTube and listen in on Spotify and rss.com. Again, this episode has been sponsored by the amazing ICE, incredibly cool events. So thank you so much to our podcast sponsor. I'm Theo Main. This is a beautiful...
And I'm Jane Valentine. And if you are a business and you do want to sponsor us here at Cheer Up, then please get in contact with us, because we'll put you on all of our platforms and we'll give you a nice introduction at the start of all of our episodes.
Yes, and the end as well. Start and the end. This episode is going to be about how amazing our industry is when it comes to diversity and inclusion. I think it's fantastic for that. It's one of the reasons I joined Cheer as a gay multicultural male. But yes, we're going to be talking about the diversity, the inclusion, the positivity, the mental positivity it can have as well. But first, Jane, what have we been up to, darling?
I'm just getting over the fact that you've just told me you're gay.
You definitely knew.
I did. I'm only kidding.
I've gone bung out.
I thought I had a chance. I didn't really. I'm only joking.
Mummy, I'm scared. Anyway, what have you been up to, Jane, other than stalking me?
Well, we have had the most incredible time, haven't we?
Yes.
We've been doing so many different events and we've been hosting at different places as well. But we've just hosted at the Willowwood Hospice Strictly Come Dancing event.
How epic was that?
It was unbelievable.
I felt for the first time in my lifetime a celebrity.
I know, it was so exciting, wasn't it? With our beautiful outfits and our little, my frock. Yeah, he actually wanted to wear my frock, but I put my foot down. I said, no, you're not wearing my frock. But it's great because like the collaborations and how we've networked, because we film here at Magoo Studios, which is really interesting because we're talking about equality and diversity, aren't we? And Magoo Studios is called Magoo Studios because Mr. Magoo, who owns it, has actually had issues around with his eyes, but it doesn't stop him from doing all the incredible work here at Magoo Studios. And Magoo Studios filmed the Strictly, didn't they, as well? So we're all working in collaboration and we're all local people, so it's just... And
isn't it amazing when you support each other and you come together as a collective to reach a goal together? Isn't that nice, folks? Isn't that nice, folks?
It is nice, and I think that's the platform that we've been striving for from the very beginning. Is we want to be an educational platform, and we are going to touch on topics that are going to be sensitive, and it's all about perspective. And I suppose, like with equality and diversity, what we're going to go into talking about is people's perspective can be a very interesting way to look at things, because sometimes what we're discussing, it's not always our perspective. We get emails in.
And we reference, because we're honest people, we're open, we reference to ourselves, because we're never going to throw people under the bus, or like when we do Controversial Corner, we keep people anonymous as well for their safety as well.
Absolutely.
And protection. But sometimes people don't want to own up to something that they say, and we're putting our names to this as well. So I think it's very important that we're not... what you see is what you get with us. We're very straightforward people. We say things. Yes, I may deliver something quite quite abruptly, but that's me as a person, and I can't change that.
But I think sometimes, like we've sometimes got to see the lightheartedness in it. Like the conversations that we have. They are light-hearted, and we take as much fun out of ourselves as we would do with anybody else. In fact, we're worse on ourselves than anybody else. And I think, like you say, we're just going back to perspective. Like, we're not always coming from our perspective. We're looking at what the viewers are writing in and the emails, and we're trying to slip that in into our conversations, so it's not always our perspective, but we like to see both sides as well.
For sure.
We're
And
trying to look at it from a very rounded
There's certain
view.
stuff that I certainly don't agree with you on, and you don't agree with stuff, and so it's not just about we're both like going, oh yeah, we agree with this, we're going to run for that.
Absolutely.
There's certain stuff we've mentioned, obviously I'm like, no.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's the love of it. But yes, it's been a roller coaster so far, and it
certainly has. And I think one sort of perspective, I could probably leave that for controversial corner, but my mind's so forgetful I would have probably forgot, so I'm going to say it now. Talking about perspective, if something has triggered you, I generally think what I do is I then get curious over why something has triggered me, because it's generally something within me that I need to investigate for myself. So I don't ever see that as a negative. I generally have to sit with myself and think, why? And that actually takes us into like equality and diversity around the subject that we've got today, because this sport is an incredible sport for that. I mean, we have like the I can never say it. Please help me, Theo. The
LGBTQT plus, and I think it's got AI on it. I'm honestly
AI. Artificial intelligence joined
I'm
it
gay
too.
as well. I'm really bad at it. It's changed since but I know it's LGBTQT plus a. Oh my god, I'm such a bad gay. I am such a bad gay. It's not only that, I do have a lot in my mind. I do so much. There's so much happening in my lifestyle at the moment that I can't remember if I've gone to the toilet.
But there's so many words to it. Like you say, I was just like,
I'm all about the inclusion as all that.
Absolutely.
I just can't remember anything.
Yeah. Which takes us back, we was at Liverpool, weren't we, a few months ago at Gay Pride, and we had such a brilliant day there, didn't we? That was fantastic. And I think that's what's really, we're going to like reach on topics, and one what I really, really love is we've had a couple of boys in our gym.
See, I've never had a boy yet other than myself.
Well, we've had some boys, but they've wanted to like wear the makeup, and they've wanted the cheer bows in, and they've wanted the eyelashes on, and we're like, absolutely, you know. And then we've got like, we're encouraging, you know, like the boys, if they're like, oh my god, I just love the makeup, and you see them and they're doing the girls' makeup, and I'm using girls and boys as references. I know I'm probably not being so PC, so don't pull me up on that, please. But I just think it's such a lovely thing to see, where what I genuinely love is watching people be authentically themselves in a safe space where they can just shine. And that for me is cheer.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I joined it. I played rugby, believe it or not.
Oh my god.
I did try boxing, so I can throw a good right hook. Let me tell you, honestly, when I go out with my sister and she's been hit on or something's going wrong, and that I may be gay, but I will throw a punch. Let me know. I will protect my family. I'm joking. I'm not about the violence. But I think that's why I joined cheer, because it was just so inclusive and accepting. And obviously in Short Talks Big Impact, it's left a massive impact in my life. It's helped me become who I am today a little bit. Like, I found who I am, like, confidently, what I'm good at, like the performance level of it as well. Like, if it weren't for cheer, I probably wouldn't have the confidence to be able to apply for TV stuff. Like, I've done so much TV
really
now. It's like, I keep thinking I've not really done that much, but when I look back, I've actually done quite a few TV stuff now. I'm just like, wow. But cheer gave me that confidence. Cheer gave me the platform to be able to be like, whoa, this is me. This is who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
That's really interesting that you say that cheer gave you that platform to feel authentically yourself. What do you think it was specifically that made you feel so inclusive?
The glamour. No, I will think the people. Obviously, when I did cheer, the people, seeing people like worlds cheering you on, like, oh, your uniform looks so good, you look amazing in it. The support network around it, obviously being on Genesis, it was so electrifying. It was hilarious. Like, I would never ever leave a Genesis practice without a smile on my face. Like, it was just incredible from start to finish. We would laugh, would howl. Yes, we'd take the mickey out of each other, but nothing bad. It'd be all just good banter, good times. And I feel that's where it's lacking in the industry now. Like, the banter level's just completely gone, like, it's gone so serious, which is good because we want it to be serious and we want to get out there, we want to be recognised as a sport and stuff like that. But also we're forgetting the fun it brings to people's life and how much it can change somebody's life as well. Yes. And I think that's massive to do with mental health as well. Like, I don't think I would be in a position now if it wasn't for cheer. Yeah. And where cheer is now in the industry, I'm just like, ooh, do I want to be a part of that? Because it's not the cheer I remember growing up with. Yeah. So I think this episode's getting quite deep, actually. But I think diversity, equality is a massive thing. Like, this sport really is very, very inclusive. And that's one thing in my gym. I don't care your size, your age, your gender, your sexuality, what your reference and pronouns are. You are welcome. Yeah. Cheer is a safe space for you. And Main All Stars will always be a safe place for anybody. Yeah. Even if it's a parent who is gay and has got a kid. Like, welcoming them into the gym. Like, I'm like, same-sex parents, everything about what I stand for, and cheerleading and dance as well, is just being a safe space.
Absolutely. Where do I sign up, Theo?
And so it should. I mean, I think a lot of teams have that ethos as well. Like this. Yeah. I think cheer has changed a lot of people's life, and obviously going back to Talia as well, when we had her on that episode, it was kind of her safe space for a while as well, until obviously. It wasn't, but she got better, and she's saying it like she's ill. She's not ill. But it's madness how powerful your mindset can be.
Yes, definitely. So, I think your mindset is everything, and I think what's difficult sometimes from a coach's perspective is what we generally think of when we're coaches. We've got to think about the routine, we've got to think about the full team, we've got to be really mindful of different people's learning styles and everybody's different learning abilities, and also like a team's worth of personalities as well is really sometimes difficult. And some coaches have full-time jobs and then go and do this like as a bit of a sideline, or they do it because they feel really passionate about it, and it's some coaches' full-time job. But it's difficult sometimes if you've got like a few teams and you've got different dynamics going on within the group. Social media is a massive impact today around.
I know it.
I know. But, which I think can have a huge impact around people's mental health and everything else, like the WhatsApp chats and things. So as a coach, you've got so many different things that are going on. So you're being a counsellor, you're being mindful of the learning style, you're being mindful of like the parents' demands and everything else. So the pressure actually
is a lot
on the coach sometimes is the coach needs an outlet and a safe space somewhere. And again, we've got so many, again, it's about it being inclusive, isn't it? Like, we've got such a variety of coaches, of just a variety of people's different needs. And what I genuinely love as well is when we see the special abilities teams at competitions. So it is really, really diverse, and it is really, really like inclusive as well. And we've got para cheer and the para dance teams that have done amazingly well when we've done ICU competitions. So we've got a lot to be proud of within our sport around equality and diversity, haven't we?
I think so. It's massive. I think it's one thing will always resonate with me with cheer. It's just so welcoming, because not many sports. I mean, most sports these days are very welcoming. I'm not tarnishing any other sport in any way, shape or form. But I do think that cheer is really leading the way for when it comes to diversity and stuff like that, and equality in the sport. I think it's incredible. Hence, like I keep saying, that's why I did it. That's why I'm still in it. I try and like, do I want to take a step back and make my coaches do more and do like, and me just focus on my career and stuff like that? But I'm like, I know I love it too much. Like, I love seeing like, especially all my team's like just all girls, but they all just thrive and they all just love it. They come with a smile on their face, and when they go to competitions, I love teaching them a skill that they hold and cherish for their life, because it's not only about teaching them skill in the sport, we're teaching them life lessons.
Absolutely.
Like punctuality, commitment, team building, problem solving. We're teaching them a lot, which they can then put into their normal lives as well. So I always say teaching somebody a skill is more rewarding than me learning a skill these days, because knowing that I've impacted that athlete so much so she's blossomed to be this amazing whatever she becomes, like that's so important.
I think what's nice as well, because you are such a public figure as well, you know, that if there are people who are struggling around the sexuality and feeling maybe the shame and guilt around it, that they've got people like yourselves or other people in the industry where they can look up to people like you, because I know that we've had some problems. I used to teach a lot in schools around the area, teaching dance and cheerleading, and we've had, you know, some lads, they've loved it, and they've gone, oh, I want to come, and then they've gone home and the dads have said, you're not doing that, it's gay. You know, you're going to go play football, you're going to go and do boxing. And I think sometimes that people have this impression that cheer is shaking pom-poms. I mean, if you want to do that,
I mean, pom's really hard. I cannot do pom.
But I don't care. Do you know what I mean? If my boy ever came home and said, like, Mum, I want to shake my pom-poms and I want to wear glitter, I'd be like, you go for it. But like I said before about perspectives and people's belief systems and what their values are, then we've got that as a challenge to deal with. And I've seen, like, spark go out of people's little ones' eyes when they've gone, oh my God, I love this. And then they've gone, well, no, you can't do that. You need to do a boys' sport. You need to do boxing, or you need to do football, or you need to do, you know, whatever that may be. And they're like, but I want to dance. And the stigma from when I was a young girl, where we're back, no puns there, please. But the change in our society now, we're far more accepting, which is a beautiful place to be, but it's still a place where we've got work to do, isn't it?
100%. I think you can say something these days and you might not mean anything bad by it, or you might be just saying something how you deliver it, and people will jump on it and pull you down instantly. No matter and even without getting the full context of the situation, they'll be quick to take you down and dim your light without a second doubt in any way, shape or form. Obviously, I've experienced that a lot with being on a TV show. And one thing I take from the TV show with the Traitors was it was a diverse cast, and every interview and every press thing I've done, I was like, the one thing I take away is how diverse the TV show was, because you don't get that on TV. It's all you've got to have abs, you've got to be beautiful, you've got to look this way. You don't. And this is one thing I flag for TV, and when I do work with BBC and stuff like that, I'm like, they ask me, what's my dream? I'm like, I don't want to be like a famous person. I want to be the shining light for people to like, I look like him, I sound like him, he's got the same colour skin as me, he's got the same curly hair as me. That's why I do it. If I can impact somebody's life, that's more important than me being famous or a celebrity or anything like that. That's not why I do it. I do it to leave an impact in people's life, and that's what I do on my social media is to be myself, like have a laugh. I do spaghetti carbonara. I make a fool of myself. Like, that's what I stand for.
And I love that you've mentioned that, because we're talking about equality and diversity, but I think sometimes what we forget is about people who have got like an extra personality. I know when I was like growing up, I'm what you call probably neurospicy. It wasn't ever, you know, diagnosed.
It's neurodivergent.
Neurodivergent. And that was never sort of a thing when I was young, but I always knew I was just a little bit different. And I used to think, I don't actually fit in anywhere. But when I went to dancing, like I could like shine, and I wanted to be on the stage, and I wanted the lights on me. And I remember being about 10 years old, and this light coming down on me when I was doing a pantomime, and I remember thinking, I'm exactly where I want to be. And I loved Lena Zabbaroni and Bonnie Langford, and I wanted to go to stage school. I was 10, I was saying to my mum and dad, please can I go there, and they was like, Jane, you're going to live in London. I'm like, I don't care, I'll leave my family, I want to go and do that. And then eventually over the years, because I was a personality where my brain's like all over the place, and I am a creative, I'm very entrepreneurial, I've had to grow into that. And I think today what is really great is that there's so much more education around and acceptance around people like this. I dimmed my light for a very, very long time, and my mental health suffered really, really badly. Only a couple of years ago, I had burnout. I was completely burnt out. And part of that was because my brain's so all the time, and because I felt like I had to fit in. I was trying to fit in. I was trying to be the married with the 2 children, fit into this world, what we're probably conditioned to do and to be in. I tried to do that, and it never really sat right with me. Yeah. And when I got the burnout and I literally was floored, and that was only like 2 years ago, it's only been where I've got into my 50s where I've gone, do you know what? I'm in a place where you are now, which is amazing, where I'm like, nobody's dimming this light anymore. Nobody's going to dim this light. I'm going to shine as bright as I possibly can, because for the first time in my life, I've actually felt like myself, and I've felt like who I actually am. And I think we have, as much as social media can be a really negative place, for social media, for me, when I found all these like different TikTok things of like, ADHD and things like that, I was like, oh my God, that is me. Yeah. And I've never been diagnosed, but I always felt different. Yeah. And, and that is the beauty of our sport, isn't it? Yeah. Like we are very inclusive.
And embrace who you are. I think that's the most powerful message in that. I was like talking about fight the tears back then. I was like, I am not crying. I've done it on national TV. I'm not doing it again. But I think that's a powerful message there. I think be you, and don't let anybody dim your light for anything. Because it will. Do you know what? I'm going to be brutally honest here. The universe does challenges. The universe will send you challenges. It will send you people who are just born into negativity and will literally try and pull people down. There is them people, but just know when they cross your path in your lifestyle, your lifetime, that's to challenge you. You know that you will become better. Yes. You will rise above it, and you will tackle that challenge head on. In the time, it might feel like a dark space, but just know, because of who you are as a person, how unique you are, you will get out the other side. You will prevail, and they will carry on doing what they need to do. So always just remember to yourself, you're uniquely you, you're who you're meant to be, and you're always in the right time at the right moment. With our journey, we wouldn't have crossed paths and gone on this journey for obviously what's happened in our journey. Our journey's been, it's gone. Which is we'll get there. We're started here and we're climbing, but the universe has crossed our paths, and it's weird how it's done it, because we've met each other and then we've closed one door and we've moved into a different. It's so weird.
It's strange because, like as I said before, I think when you start to step into who you feel like, we see it a lot, like live your best life, be your authentic self. And I remember sitting there thinking, I'm really trying to live my best life, and I'm really trying to be my authentic self, but I actually don't know who my authentic self is. Because I'd been a people pleaser all my life. I'd got married really young, and I had my children really young, and I lived my life for everybody else, and then my kids flew the nest, and then I got divorced, and I'm sat in my own thinking, I actually don't. I remember thinking, I think I'll go out for a walk, and then I remember questioning myself, thinking, do I like walking? Do I actually like going out walking and looking at sheep? Or did I just do it because like that was the family thing to do? And I discovered I'm not really that keen on it. I prefer to go for cocktails and go to Ibiza and party hard. Who'd have known? In my 50s I'd have discovered that. But you see, it's all about self-discovery, and your journey never ever stops. I mean, a lot of people see, we'll look at us. We're such an odd couple. You're in your late 20s, and I'm in my 50s. Who'd have ever thought like that we gelled? But it's about an energy, isn't it? And we both, like, as soon as we properly met, we've known one another a long time, but as soon as we properly met, it was just like, there's just an energy that happens, and I never stop laughing. You help me shine bright, and vice versa. We have said that, and I know that my daughter has phoned you personally, didn't she? I'll let you say that little story. We're going into a little personal little depth here.
Thank you for bringing the light back in, my mum, she said, and I showed you the message. I had a message come through of somebody who random messaged me saying, thank you for being you. My Godson's got autism.
Yeah.
He always remembers you on your TikTok platform.
Yeah.
Please never stop being you. And it's people like that who obviously motivate me to be who I am as a person.
Yes.
As the same for you. We're going to have to end it there. It's
Yeah.
been a very deep conversation. We're not doing any controversial corner, obviously, much as we like doing them. It's been a very powerful message today. But yes, the cheer world is very diverse. It's very inclusive. So if you're watching this and you're not a cheerleader, find a club near you, because you will not regret it.
No, you won't.
Especially if you're near Leeds area.
You won't regret it.
And Stirling Bridge.
Yeah, and just remember to, if you don't know who you authentically are, like, keep the self-discovery, keep going, find your tribe, find your people, and you will find your way in the world.
We've certainly found our tribe, and we cannot wait for this new journey, I tell you that. We'll probably be in it now when this goes out.
I think it'll be Christmas snow next time.
Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in for Cheer Up the Podcast. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at Cheer Up the Podcast. Watch us on YouTube and now Spotify, and listen in on Spotify, RSS, and all the lists of podcast streaming platforms are on there as well. Thank you so much. If you've been offended or upset by anything in our episodes, feel free to contact. If you're upset by her, contact me. If you're upset by me, contact her. But yes, come to us directly. We're here to talk. Even if it's positive or negative feedback, we want to talk to you. I've been Theo Main.
And I've been Jane Valentine.
See you.
Mwah!